The Simpsons. Look, you already know who they are, and so do I. America's bright yellow family that has a show that will not die. That being said, there are channels out there that are able to find diamonds in the rough regarding the later seasons. And at least it's not Family Guy. I don't think I know a single person who likes that show. I'm not going to bore you with why Season 8 was the last good season, or why the Lady Gaga episode is bad, because there's so many episodes to cover, and I'll leave that to the professionals. The Simpsons have branched into nearly every form of merchandise possible. Hell, they even had sponsors for Domino's in the UK at one point, and I remember being a massive fan as a young kid of The Simpsons. Fuck Domino's. Which led to me owning one of the most well-praised licensed games of all time. And the topic of today's video, Simpsons Hit and Run. I loved this game as a kid so much that I played it until my copy broke. Then a relative on Christmas got me another copy by accident. Yet if the PS2 could track hours, this game would easily dwarf the rest, only really challenged by the likes of Sonic Heroes and Wallace and Gromit and the Curse of the Were-Rabbit.
Excuse me, sir. Ow!
Hey yo, this game's a fucking masterpiece. I love this game enough that I play it on this very own PC on occasion, and I use mods available to explore a whole world of possibilities with this game. Like, what other licensed game gets this treatment? Yes, there is actually a modding community for this game, and I learned about it through this video of gaming history. We did actually look through a mod recently, and we've also got another video on Hit and Run which I used to just test my editing skills on a gaming video. So I think it's about time we actually look through the original game and review it as such. Obviously I'm playing the PC version. The changes per system are very minor, and I've got to get the best quality footage for this video for you all. That's just how I roll, okay? Anyway, this is Simpsons Hit and Run.
Woohoo! It's up to Homer Simpson and family to save the world from a diabolical plot. Critics call it the best Simpsons game ever.
Get the lawsuit.
The Simpsons Hit and Run, rated T for teen.
I am evil Homer.
Okay, so we all know the first level. Homer basically runs around and performs some errands. Stuff like dropping off science projects, helping his neighbour, and oh, fucking Christ, what was that? Science projects, helping his neighbour, and vehicular manslaughter. No, fucking cut it. I fucking ruined the line, there's no point. Backed by this soundtrack, which is really damn good, and without a doubt you've probably already heard me use this in some of my videos. All the playable characters move identically and drive identically, so we won't really need to cover them in their own separate sections, which is a good thing. We can get it out of the way right now. Each character can sprint, kick, double jump, and enter vehicles. It is odd that The Simpsons adopted a double jump like a lot of platformers did back then, but with how clunky the off-road controls are, it's probably best that you do have this feature. I remember that part in Bart Gets an F and he proceeded to double jump out of the classroom. Sprinting is exactly what it sounds like, and you don't have a stamina bar, so you can sprint all you want in this game without driving. Kicking is literally there to break objects and assault Marge Simpson. Insert funny kick to the quickie mark comment here. Kicking while jumping will allow you to do an airborne kick, which is pretty helpful as you can move and kick down wasp cameras. But double jumping and kicking will result in a ground pound, which instantly breaks certain objects like cola boxes and Ralph Wiggum. And of course, entering vehicles. It's exactly what it sounds like, I don't need to explain this to you. Despite being a GTA clone, you don't steal vehicles from random people on the road. Instead, you just take the passenger seat and control the vehicle as you would any other. Now, driving vehicles is pretty straightforward. You can accelerate, brake, and reverse. Basic driving stuff. Using the brake allows you to basically swerve around turns and keep up with possible objectives. And trying to exit a vehicle also causes the vehicle to effectively hard brake. Now, despite playing on PC, I highly recommend using a controller for this game, as it just feels better to drive with, and with the added platforming, the game really does feel like it was built with the console in mind. Even so, I've played with keyboard and it's perfectly doable, just not as comfortable.
I have no insurance.
The first level features a quick tutorial as referenced by the loading screen.
Homie, somebody ate every dessert in the house. I need you to run to the store and pick up some of that ice cream with the miniature pies in it.
Oh, must have been one of our kids. Probably Millhouse.
It is as simple as it gets. Go to the Quickie Mart and collect the ice cream with miniature pies in it. The tutorial is as basic as it needs to be, teaching you to get in the car and drive around. Arrows on the road will appear to direct the player, as well as the minimap to the bottom right. This also leads the player into going inside a building, which each map has two of. In these buildings are clothing shops where you can change your Simpson into a reference from the show or just be naked. Once done, the player will head back to Marge to start the official first mission of the game.
Do I have to?
Lisa left her school project behind and Homer must now get it to her. This is also a race level which pits you against Skinner. Skinner here is also piss easy to beat due to him serving a pretty simple purpose. He's the first race and you'll have time to both check for possible shortcuts as well as catch up should he overtake you. Once beaten, Lisa gets her project back and it's on to the next mission. Now the story missions aren't the only thing going on here. The game features some optional content where you can find individuals that may offer a mission. You have Louie who runs the gambling race where you pay a certain amount of coins to participate, then receiving a payout should you beat the time. I usually never use these because I don't usually struggle with money for the later purchases in the game. More on them later. You also have the races run by Milhouse, Nelson and Ralph. Milhouse runs time trials, Nelson runs the looping races, and Ralph usually runs the races that run from one end of the map to the other. Beating all three of these per level rewards the player with a car. In the case of level 1, it's the Electorus, which is Lisa's car from the previous game the developers made, Simpsons Road Rage. A crazy taxi knockoff that actually got sued by Sega. Then we also have a side mission which is given by a random cast member from the show. Completing these also gives a car which is tied to the character and will accompany you whenever you call their car in. Trying to get into the car's driver's side will result in the character telling you off.
I believe you'd be wanting the opposite door.
Neat little details like this help the game feel alive, and with the writing team of the official show behind it, it feels identical to an episode of the show. Which is something a lot of these licensed games fail to emulate. Back to the story missions and we're helping Ned get stuff back that we stole. Classic Homer moment. This is a standard collect mission with a time limit attached. Then of course the next mission is a vehicle destruction mission. This mission is also the first mission to require the player to obtain a purchasable vehicle. Every mission that does this will have a vehicle vendor represented by a character associated with the required vehicle. In this case it's Barney for the Plow King. The vehicles themselves are references to episodes where they either play a significant role in the plot or common enough to include like the school bus from Otto. With this mission though, we just take Smithers off the road.
Do you do better?
My convertible!
Classic Homer moment. This brings us to our next mission, which could be described as an on-foot mission. Basically, the car isn't required here as you'll be expected to complete the mission on foot due to the objectives being placed in inaccessible locations. These missions are rare, and honestly I can only think of 2 of them off the top of my head. With the platforming and on-foot controls, I can honestly see why this number is quite low. Now these controls aren't bad, but they are sluggish. After being sent home and finding a black van, we proceed with a tailing mission.
Oh, homie, you're so sexy when you're paranoid.
Basically just keep in range of the vehicle as we follow it to a certain location. Then we find Marge wanting to destroy GameStop over GTA 6, so we gladly help her in a, what the hell do I even call this mission, Ram and Collect? Okay, that sounds good, we'll roll with Ram and Collect. Basically combining the vehicle destruction mission with a collection mission into one, where ramming the vehicle will cause objects to fall out and be collectible. Once we've delayed GTA 6 for another 7 months, we then finish the mission off with a race against Smithers from the power plant to Mr. Burns' mansion. And that's level 1. Now repeat that 6 times. Our first mission is a new type of mission, evasion. This time, we have to escape from a vehicle that will be chasing us, which happens to be Skinner as we are skipping school. This must be done under a specified time limit or you will fail the mission. Once we do though, we find out GTA 6 is sold out and Bart must now find the only alternative solution. Illegal fireworks. This mission will combine the standard timed mission where the player must reach certain destinations, then finishing up with another chase where Bart must escape Chief Wiggum. So while I'm here, I want to quickly talk about the character designs. Because the Simpsons are 2D animated characters, it's really difficult to bring them out into a 3D setting. Previous attempts include the short Halloween section from the show itself with Homer Squared, followed up by the already mentioned Simpsons Road Rage. These designs aren't exactly great, but they're fucking miles better than what you find in this broken mess.
Goodbye, eggs for Bart!
Hit and Run actually does a solid job bringing the characters into 3D without making them look ghastly. Well, maybe except Dr. Nick. I don't think his Botox agrees with him. But while the characters look the part, there is something stand out about 2 specific characters. Bart and Lisa are both kids from the show, and in this game they are fucking massive. Like, look at Bart compared to both Otto and Comic Book Guy. His head alone makes up a torso. What has Marge been feeding this menace?
Quit
to the Fatmobile!
Sorry, Bart, I have to cancel you now, you fat-phobic scab.
I spilled my squishy.
Now, obviously, I don't want to waste everyone's time by going over every level one by one with every mission, going one by one, so I'll speed through a lot of this and go over any standouts as I go. This is due to the fact that a lot of the level missions are basically the same idea, just executed differently. You have chase missions in this level and that level, you also have collection missions, time missions, races, etc. They're just done differently with different time limits, different areas to do them. That's really all of it, as the best way I can put it. Another thing I'm going to bring up is the namesake of the game, hit and run. The minimap below has a bar that will fill when you commit crimes. This obviously includes kicking people and destroying things, as well as making contact with vehicles while driving. Because money is dropped from items as you destroy them, it's likely you'll run into a hit and run, where the police will proceed to run you off the road. If you are slowed while near one of these, you will get busted for a 50 coin penalty. And while it doesn't seem like a lot, later levels will make this stack, especially if you know one of the missions in level 6. Regarding difficult missions, Better Than Beef was not fun for a kid me. Cletus seems to be involved in every difficult mission in the game, so if he's in a mission, it's not going to be a good time. The man is an asshole. But yeah, Bart and Professor Frink use a combination of old satellite dishes, radios, GTA 6, and the death of several mobile users to build Truckosaurus.
Wow, Truckosaurus is some kind of truck/dinosaur. I never would have guessed.
And the bastard tries to kill us. And the worst part is, fucking aliens. Lisa's level brings us to the Squidport, a beautiful looking area with the open sea and warm colours all around. Now the missions proceed as normal, giving us a race which adds a timed objective after beating it, as well as more timed missions, collection missions, car destruction missions that is just a repeat of the previous levels, just more complex and different. But what's most interesting about level 3 is that it introduces required clothing to progress. See, with Chief Wiggum, he needs your help, but Lisa needs to be undercover. Thus you'll be informed that you need a specific outfit to wear from the shops we mentioned earlier. In this case, the cool clothes. Like the vehicles, these clothes are references to the show. While I'm talking about shops, I'll mention Old Gil while I'm at it.
You just gotta help old Gil out.
Old Gil also sells vehicles, but these are completely optional, and I never found myself purchasing specific vehicles from him, just to beat certain missions. But each level has 2 specific cars up for sale. Some are cool like the hoverbike from level 7, but I also want to bring up a minor thing. While this is not unique to Lisa, there are missions in each level you will be forced to use specific cars in. Level 1 allowed us to use the Canyonero from level 4 with Marge, as well as the missions that ask you to buy a car. But you can switch those cars out of phone booth, so there's a little exploit there. With missions like Comic Book Guys in level 2 and 3, you can't swap out the car. This isn't an issue in earlier levels, as these cars are genuinely from levels way ahead. For instance, Apu's car is bloody awesome.
Do not mention the Unforsaken again or you will join them!
While Cletus's truck is as appealing as Cars 2.
Skin feels on your body? You don't.
Lisa herself is almost as unsettling to look at, like Jesus Christ. After finding Bart in the last level, Marge goes full Karen on Springfield. Also, look how fucking big Bart is compared to his mother. The size is ridiculous. Marge also has the Canyonero, the most unstable car in the game. This car will often tip onto its sides, but I seem to cope with it just fine. It does jump around a bit though, and speedrunners will often use Lisa's car from the previous level, which is a lot more stable and has a similar speed stat. A recurring thing about vehicles in this game is that the cars with each level are direct upgrades as you progress. This can limit the viability of the older level cars, which you may have obtained with your precious coins. This isn't helped by the fact that NPC cars are often tweaked to fit with the level's stats. This effectively means that Cletus's truck, which appears in this level, also happens to be much quicker when driven by an NPC. So while you're chasing him like he's stolen your Amazon package from your doormat, The following mission where you actually use his vehicle will be as sluggish as it was in level 1. Obviously this is done to make it so that the missions aren't piss easy, because Apu's Longhorn and Marge's Canyonero will absolutely destroy Cletus's truck in any situation. Basically, I'm saying Cletus is an asshole. While I'm here, I'll quickly go over the music for each character. I've been using them as background music for each level, as Homer has his classic theme of the loud and pompous music. Bart has a rock style to fit in with his cool persona, while Lisa has jazz. So what does Marge have? Yeah, Marge is the only character that doesn't have a unique theme, which is weird because she has music that is unique to her missions. I'll go over the open worlds the game has to explore while I'm here as well. The game has 3 open areas which are used across the 7 levels in the game. Evergreen Terrace, Springfield Downtown, and the Squidport. Technically, I guess you could say there's a 4th one, but I'll bring that up when I get there. For now, I'll talk about the first. Evergreen Terrace is arguably the simplest in design, often being grounded with more open spaces to drive around while also easing players into the game. Marge's level is where the game starts being difficult, and having this area as a jumping point is pretty good actually, and it's hardly different from level 1, with the exception of Mr. Burns' mansion being opened up. Each map also has locations from the show, which is to be expected at this point, with the school and the Quickie Mart in Evergreen Terrace. I will also bring up the gags you can find across the game, which are references to the show itself and are interactable. Despite the open world, gags in the game are often secluded to areas you are given incentive to go and explore, as well as the interiors. Another thing I will bring up about level 4 is that there will now be an extra cop car that stays around whenever you trigger a hit and run. So with that out of the way, let's talk about the next level. Right, Disney isn't watching, are they? No? Ah, good. Okay, so you're obviously going to expect me to talk about the beloved Simpsons family member that's in this level. Turns out of the entire cast, Apu has a level. This was set up in the last mission of the previous level, but genuinely I never saw it coming as a kid. If you want my opinion on Apu being phased out from the show, then this isn't the video. Plus, some brain-dead bitch had an issue with a 5-second joke on my last review. So much so that they tried to get a reaction out of me by commenting this shit on a completely irrelevant video. Imagine making a joke about an actual racist depiction of the Chinese and someone turns around and says, "It's just a movie, you blue degenerates, how dare you insult my childhood!"
Shut your fucking mouth! Shut the fuck up, you cunt!
So let's focus on Apu from the game, shall we? Much like the entire cast of the game, the Simpsons voice actors also play their roles and are a spitting image of their TV selves.
This is not good for my insurance.
I also want to quickly go over the specific mission type when it combines trailing missions with the ram and collect missions. You have to trail a vehicle while it drops items. These did start appearing earlier, but level 5 is much more unforgiving. In fact, this is where the difficulty really spikes. NPC cars are now much quicker in these missions, and prices for essential vehicles and clothes have been jacked up. In an effort to lengthen the game's runtime, the developers purposely made it so that players had to seek out coins and potentially grind for them. The American clothes alone are 500 coins. Speedrunners often take paths that bring them into contact with cola boxes filled with money, which is something I've been doing, but more casually. Even so, the police in this game are ruthless, and getting caught multiple times will start to hurt as it pushes you to grind again. The problem is destroying items causes the bar to rise, so you have to let the thing cool off or chance it by trying to outlast the police. Apu's level takes place in the downtown area that Bart was in for level 2. This layout focuses more on tighter paths around, with much less open areas to simulate a more urban area. This also means shortcuts are more tucked in, and getting a hit and run is more risky as you'll have less room to move. Thankfully, the area around Jebediah's statue is very open. This level also has a highway section which has very little shortcuts to work with once you enter the main road, effectively acting as a linear path. It's also infamous for line-changing traffic, which will do this randomly, potentially knocking you off course, or even failing a mission if you need to keep up with a trailing mission. Then there's the mission that I personally think was my hardest in the game. Never trust a snake. This level has a persistent time limit, which is all you get. It starts with a collect section where you grab garbage falling out of this truck. The truck can bug out and randomly swerve, wasting time as it won't drop anything until it reaches certain points. Once you've finished with the truck, you'll be in the city area where you'll need to combine both on foot and car to collect all the garbage in the area. Once done, then you have to make it back to the DMV. All of this on the same time limit as you started. Thankfully, I've played this mission so many times now, I've kind of got the entire route nailed down.
Ha! Clean up in aisle 1. How are you this fine day?
The doctor said I should be dead years ago. Ha!
Now obviously Apu was tracking down where his tainted cola was coming from, as the story basically goes like this. Buzz Cola comes to Springfield along with the Wasp cameras. I'll get to them in a second. It isn't until level 2's ending where stuff goes off. Level 1 and 2 just usually focus on their own B-plot, though in Homer's level we do see the black fans that would later appear in level 2. When Bart was kidnapped by aliens, Lisa is the one to go find him later on in her level. Marge's level would then focus on getting answers, which leads her to discovering that Buzz Cola was involved thanks to the delusional Abe Simpson.
There I was surrounded by Tojo and his Nazi henchmen, when one of them, a raccoon as I recall, hits me with a banjo. Now, I never reasoned with a raccoon, let alone a Nazi one, so I...
Grandpa, what does this have to do with the crop circle?
Not a thing!
Apu learns this and then through multiple missions teams up with Bart to get into the museum where the Buzz Cola is being shipped from. Thus we find the aliens responsible for the events unfolding.
Ay, caramba!
All of this for a reality space show. And I guess I'll talk about Wasp cameras while I'm here. Wasp cameras appear across the levels and can be kicked out of the air to get coins. However, they will zap the player when irritated enough. Just like with stamina, there is no health bar, but they will knock coins out of your pockets. It's not usually an issue though, as you'll likely be able to just knock them out of the air without any problems at all. Or just retrieve the coins after you've dealt with the Wasp. These guys simply exist. We return to Bart for this level, trying to stop the aliens from unleashing laser guns. Bart's Farini is my favourite car in the game, being extremely fast and has fantastic handling. Its only downside is that it's more fragile. While I'm talking about cars, there is a hidden car in each level. Some are good like the funny pink car, others are not so good. The Squidport is a beautiful area and the most standout area of the lot. Open areas are more condensed, with most of the area made up of linear routes with shortcuts attached. The Squidport itself is a nasty area to drive through. Because people are constantly walking across the docks, it's very easy to run through people and cause a hit and run. With how tightly packed the dock layout is, and with 2 police cars, this can be extremely difficult to not get taxed with your coins. No mission screams this more than Set to Kill, the game's most infamous mission. The mission requires you to destroy all the laser gun stands within a time limit. Once done, the time limit will give the player 50 seconds to traverse their way back to Krusty Lou Studios. Combine this with the docks that you need to go through and getting a hit and run is basically guaranteed. You have to be at your best, which means you're going to end up plowing through everything to beat the limit. There really isn't much to delve into further with this level, so after teaming up with Homer we witness the aliens unleash the Walking Dead.
Zombies eating brains? Oh, this is gonna rock!
Level 7 is a tribute to the Treehouse of Horrors from the show itself. Evergreen Terror is radically different from its previous counterpart. First off, the first class area where Mr. Burns' mansion can be found is inaccessible. The area is now covered in Halloween decorations as the zombies have taken over Springfield. Funnily enough, they don't pose a threat to you, just acting as regular NPCs. Even the police cars have changed to the hearses. They're still ruthless though. Now, despite the overhaul to the layout of Evergreen Terrace, I don't like this level for a number of reasons. The traffic are either huge
boxes
or thin twig broomsticks. They look cool, but with how fast cars are now, I tend to crash into them and get them stuck on my bonnet, which can trigger a hit and run, which is fucking awful in some of these missions. It's also the most unstable map and can completely glitch out. The game was unfortunately rushed with a deadline, so the map had the first class section cut out, and the missions within the level can also reflect this. Now the missions start as per normal, standard collections and trailing missions. However, once we bump into Professor Frink, you're going to be replaying this mission type 4 times. Unique to level 7 is a nuclear waste mission where you have to carry this barrel back to the UFO at the school.
Nice alien craft. Now to just get out of the path of the tractor beam! Oh, it's sucking me up!
Boy, talk about thinning the nerd.
Because the alien's weakness just happens to be nuclear waste. Crashing the car with enough force will knock the barrel flying and force you to go back and retrieve another one. In some scenarios, this can end the mission in a restart. Each of the 4 missions that do this get harder and harder. Frink's car is slippy but has the more forgiving of the missions. The second time will be with a car of your choice. Snake also helps because Homer convinced him.
Just go!
What'll you do if I don't?
Flip you the bird!
Okay, don't get freaky. Get in.
Snake's car is already one of the better cars in the game, so take this as a blessing.
I feel bad about myself.
Then we have the other most difficult mission in the game. The last mission gives you a completely unique car from Abe Simpson. This is a modified version of his car from level 2. However, all that modification went into speed. This means the handling is on par with its level 2 counterpart, which is fine because it was slower in level 2. This car is the Canyonero all over again, being a slippy, bouncy mess of a car, while also breaking the sound barrier. Combine that with the tight time limits and bloody police, because this thing will have a hit and run going. This mission will break you if you have not mastered the game's controls at this point, but we did.
Mayday! We're going down! Okay, that's a lawsuit.
Homer sacrifices multiple people, including his father, to stop the aliens from boosting their ratings on a space show.
I smell toad! Eat nuclear death, you effeminate wriggling spacewads!
Classic Homer moment.
Dad, your fans want you outside.
Fans? Oh, those fans.
At least our show was a success.
Why did we go to Earth Heaven when we died?
At least we don't have to sit through the stupid video game credits. No!
Hit and Run was one of the free Simpsons console games of its generation. Road Rage was just an arcade-style Crazy Taxi knockoff. Skateboarding is a stain on humanity, but Hit and Run to this day remains the best Simpsons game. Made shortly after the decline of the show's quality, but still retaining its original charm of those seasons, combined with an enjoyable game with love poured into it from small details and references. Hit and Run was also one of my first games I played on the PS2 alongside The Hobbit, which also has its own video, go check it out. Clearly I wasn't the only one that loved Hit and Run, as it arguably has the biggest modern community of any licensed game, and why fans are still clinging to the hope of a remaster. I'm gonna be honest guys, Half-Life 3 has a better chance. The rights to the Simpsons games is currently owned by EA, who haven't done anything with the IP and recently shut down Tapped Out. There really hasn't been a new game since the Simpsons game for release outside of the mobile stuff. That was nearly 2 decades ago. Not to mention the problem with Apu, oh for fuck's sake. But the game lives on thanks to its amazing modding community, and this game will always be in my heart. Sure, we've got games that are absolute feats of a licensed game like Spider-Man, but back in the Wild West days of the PS2, there were few, and the Simpsons Hit and Run was mighty. Thanks for making it this far into the video. I want to start 2026 with a big positive video talking about one of the most important games of my life. If you enjoyed this review, then I have a whole playlist you can binge through here. Plus we have gaming videos and reactions to watch as well on the channel. You can also support the channel by subscribing, liking the video, and hyping the video if you're on a mobile device. Plus feel free to share the video as well. But that's everything from me, so I'll see you in the next one.